Hey, you guys. Hey, y'all listen, we back.
We back.
We back, baby. We
We
back.
back.
Okay. I done heard it. Folks talking about when you coming back. We back. Okay.
We back.
Back. It's 2022. It's February. And it's what? You see it. Black History Month. You see it.
Yes.
You see it. So Mom and I are back. I know people are like, when y'all coming back? When y'all coming back? We're back. You know, I posted yesterday and somebody was talking about, it's about time. Listen, don't do that. Okay. We are back. We're refreshed. We had a good holiday. There's been so much going on. And you know, you guys, it's just as important for you to take care of yourselves, your mental health, your wellness, your peace, and not feel like you got to rush to do stuff on everybody else's time. When you got to come back, you got to come back strong. And we want to make sure that we came back with a bang with season 5, catch up on all of our other seasons. This was going to be a good one because we focusing on what? You see it.
Media.
You see it, baby. It's Media Hype season 5. And today's episode, we kicking it off talking about clickbait. And it's really interesting that people don't know what clickbait is. And we really want to get into this so you know full throttle what it is and how you as a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ can be careful of clickbait and the media scheme, because it's a lot going on, folks. And I mean a lot. And we want to make sure that you are properly prepared and you have the right information. And so without further ado, we're going to get into it. I found a lot of stuff about clickbait. And the dictionary says that it kind of the term itself originated around the 1990s when they put the term click and bait together, right? And in a nutshell, it's when they use subliminal information, a catchy catchphrase or title or something to click you, to hook you in, and reel you in so that you click on the link or whatever it is. So you read the story or you get into whatever it is that they want you to get behind. And so if you're not careful, you can kind of get emotional, get wrapped into your emotions if you don't actually read the whole story, or you don't pay attention. So a lot of it is to, one, get your attention, but two, sometimes you get wrapped up emotionally. And so I really want to get into this because I'm excited about exposing some of the schemes of media as it relates to how it affects us as people, in particular as believers. But I found something really exciting that I want to get to later on, because there is I think he's a billionaire. Let me make sure he's not a millionaire. He's a billionaire, not a millionaire. But anyway, there is a dude who is suing Facebook over what? Clickbait. So we're going to get into that later on, but I'm excited about that because there needs to be some accountability over a lot of what's happening, in particular with media. If there's no accountability, this stuff will continue. So let's get into it. Mom, she always talking about offline, talking about time. You know, I found me some stuff and I'm excited. I'm like, goodbye. But I know she is. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's talk about clickbait. I know back in the day, my mom, if you all don't know, Mom has a background in IT and tech. And so it was called something different back in the day. So she's going to give us all of that stuff.
Even before that. Okay.
Even before that, you know, when the internet.
Well, you know, first of all, you know, I always tell you guys, it's nothing new under the sun. We use different terminology. Okay.
That's right.
We're in the 21st century. So in the 21st century, we're using our 21st century terminology. And sometimes the young people like you, Dr. Age, you all think y'all got something new. But clickbait, that term came, like you said, it did come in the 90s because that's connected with the internet.
Right.
Okay. But what we've got to realize that clickbait is considered one of the lowest forms of journalism. It's just that it lures you in. It wants to, you know, I tell anybody, my daddy was a fisherman. He put bait on a hook to lure the fish. Okay.
Right.
So clickbait or ads, it's anything glossy, it's headlines and everything to lure you in. But in all actuality, before it was called clickbait, it was called yellow journalism. It goes all the way back to the 19th century when it's journalism. It falls in the media, but it's before we had the internet, when we had paper, newspapers. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And there was a it goes back to the days of Hearst. Hearst. Y'all have heard of Patty Hearst.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, her family owned a newspaper in New York. And their competitor, they were competing. Two big major newspapers in New York were competing. And so they were trying to get readers. Okay. So they were trying to lure media. So they started having these fantastic headlines. So whichever headlines, guess what? That was being yelled at and printed, guess what? It lured people in to buy their paper. So hear what I said, lure people in. So it's nothing new. Journalists and news sources, even respectable ones, have always used trumped up headlines and dumb pictures at times to lure people into looking at what they've written. So that's what you're talking about, is you just can't believe the headlines, you got to believe it. So clickbait used to be called in the paper world yellow journalism.
Wow.
Okay. So this is going back to the paper days. So it's nothing new in media. It's just now with the internet,
evolved,
as you call it, the net.
Yeah, the internet. You know me, the net.
So it makes it easier to do.
Right.
Okay. So now I can lure you into my website. So there's good to it, and there's, of course, bad to it, because some people lure you in. You think you're clicking on a website, you're clicking on something to place an order, and someone could be hacking you also. So clickbait, it is the lowest form, like I said, of journalism.
Right. And the sad thing is that it's actually considered journalism, but it's good to know where things originated. And like Mom said, nothing is new under the sun. What we're seeing is the evolution
of it,
of manipulation, because that's all it is. Manipulation. And it's an evolution, and as what we would call this, and this would be considered technology, because it has evolved from newspaper print to you got ads on the internet. And so this is actually technology that has hit us now just in a different way, right? And so like you said, it's all about selling. It's all about getting that, getting the most people to read. It's all about readership and ratings, right?
And getting people to your website. And
you got to understand the whole point of media. The whole point of media is not about reporting news or informing you, but it is sensationalism, just what it says. It's ratings, it's viewership, it's money. Always follow the money, right? Right. So you got to understand that. And so when you understand sensationalism and the need to hook people by any means necessary, you realize that, guess what? Wait a minute. How much of what I'm being told is fabricated? Or how much of this is actual facts versus fantasy, or some type of manipulation to sway me into what they want me. And by they meaning media, whoever this journalism, whoever this outfit is, what do they want from me as a reader, as a viewer, as somebody partaking in this story, in this fallacy, right? This land, this creative land, right?
Yes.
And so you got to be careful. I mean, that's the bottom line is you got to be careful because again, it emphasizes sensationalism over facts. It's all about getting you caught up emotionally so that you make emotional responses to what's there. And so, I saw this article where this
but it's also not just emotional. Remember, it's about money. I went back, I had to look up the name of I wanted to be clear on this. About the yellow journalism. It was William Randolph Hearst,
and
New York Journal. He was competing for circulation with Joseph Pulitzer, New York World. Now, you heard of the Pulitzer Prize.
The Pulitzer Prize, yeah. That's it.
Journalism. Okay, so those were and they called it yellow journalism. And so during those times in the 1900s, it was sensationalism, headlines, to increase circulation. So
which is clickbait, money.
Right. Clickbait goes back to money. It's also to lure you in to read. And guess what? Even though things are free, some newspapers are free. If they lure you in enough, then they want you to what? Start subscribing. For and a minimal
give you so fee. Many free ones. So you've reached your three article limit or your 5 article limit or whatever, or they want you to sign up, so they can inbox you with all this other kind of stuff or whatever. There's always more. There's always more from you. And like Mom said, but if you think about it, the more you click on and read what they're offering you, the more likely you'll get sucked in. And I say this because think about people who are addicted to Fox News. And I say that term news lightly, right? But it's a network. Fox News is a network. It's a media network. They thrive off of sensationalism. They don't care if it's fact-based or not. They don't care. They made a whole story out of President Obama wearing a tan suit. Like it was the worst day in presidential history ever because he wore a tan suit in the Oval, right? It was so much sensationalism that to this day, it is still a joke that Trevor Noah, The Daily Show, they have it. It comes up annually that they have because it's like a running joke. Like, oh my God, they made a big deal out of it, right? And so when you think about it, and it's like, well, how can people continue to watch this? Like it doesn't make sense because it's no longer about news. It's about entertainment. Media has crossed over and it's no longer about reporting information based off facts. It's entertainment because they understand that if we entertain people, we make more money because people are more interested in being entertained than being informed or properly informed.
And also when you're clicking, remember you're clicking. And so even if you're on a social media site,
right,
or you're browsing because you're shopping, okay, a headline comes up, bam, out of nowhere, and so it's called curiosity. Because of this headline got your attention. This shiny thing got your attention.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember there's an old saying curiosity killed the cat? Okay. Clickbait, whether it's a headline or a picture, it catches your eye. Okay.
Yeah.
It catches the eye. And so if it catches your eye long enough, you're going to click on it. All right. That's marketing. That's a study of human nature that people have done on the internet. Listen, that's all it's about. And so one of the things as we as believers have to understand, we still got to remember scripture. It says hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. So guess what? Clickbait plays on the fact that your eyes are never satisfied. So you're going to click here.
That's right.
And the next thing you know, oh, you done read that, I'm going to click here. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to click here. Okay.
Yeah.
And so these headlines and these things, these sensational things are getting your attention and you're clicking. Well, guess what? hackers know you like to click now because you got a pattern. You know those cookies and that cash that comes on you. So now you clicking, and hackers who like to steal stuff, they use clickbait also. So now guess what? Oh, they know you like the New York Times, or they know you like whatever they know you like. Next thing you know, they've got a web page that looks like it, and you done clicked on it because it popped up. And the next thing you know, you're on a fake website.
That's right.
That's another thing. So clickbait is not only used in journalism, but it's also used by hackers.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I appreciate with this guy, and I got to read this because I was so happy to see this article, and I it's just like, well, why are you happy about somebody getting sued? Because you know what, there comes a time where you got to hold folks accountable.
Yes,
and this is that time, right? Folks like social, like on these apps, these platforms in particular. We're talking about Facebook, so this is an article. This is real. This is happening. Yes. This happened. This is a guy. This is this man is out of Australia, but this article was today, baby. Andrew Forrest launches criminal proceedings against Facebook over clickbait advertising, right?
Yes.
So the basis of it is that he's saying that the tech giant has committed offenses against Australia's anti-money laundering laws. And what they're saying is Facebook was criminally reckless in its inability to stop criminals using the platform to send scam advertisements that allegedly defrauded Australian users. His biggest thing was that they allowed people to use his image and claim, and those people use his image to claim to promote cryptocurrency investment schemes.
Yes.
Okay? So it also alleged that Facebook failed to create controls or a corporate culture that prevented its systems from being used to commit crimes. And so I love it because he's also filed not just in Australia, but here in the United States, baby.
Yes.
It is pending in the courts. It's a civil case against Facebook, was filed September of last year. Injunctive relief and other remedies pending in the Superior Court of California County of San Mateo. And so it's not just in Australian court, but here in the U.S., because at a certain point, you're making billions of dollars. Facebook makes billions of dollars off of ads. It's very ad driven. And so they don't have any controls. In fact, they teach you how to create ads. They have whole courses designed to help you learn how to make ads, to how to
promote your business,
gear them towards certain target markets and all of that, right? But like he said, there are no controls.
But see, here's the thing with clickbait. Clickbait is not illegal unless it's false advertising, and basically that's what this man is saying is that they're not controlling the false advertising, and that's what we're talking about. That's the dark side.
Yes,
that's not even the hacker side. That's just the dark side where people are using clickbait for false advertisement, and they're not giving what they said. Or you see it, people hacking your Instagram account, and then they're going out asking for money, or or even your Facebook account, and it makes it look like you, and then they send a image pop up, and you think some network or some famous person is advertising because something is happening, and you click on it. See, a lot of this can fall under clickbait, and that's why we say it's, first of all, look at the word, it's bait.
Right.
Bait is used to lure you in. So you got to know who's on the other end
luring you on that line.
What is it that they want from you? Okay. I'm a fisherman. I put the bait on the hook. I want that yellow snap. I want that tuna. I want it because I'm going to take it home and chop it up and eat it. You need to know when you're clicking on something, what do they want from you?
Right. And that has to be the immediate question. Why is this framed in this way?
Right.
Why are they using this person's picture? I mean, lately I am just like everybody, people sending me like, hey, did you start a new Instagram? Hey, do you have a new this, Dr. H? And I'm like, no, I only have this. I don't have nothing else. Report the page. And people are like, oh, you ought to be flattered because people are now you're getting to that level where people want to be you. No, because they're giving people DMs, because that's one of the first things they do. First of all, I don't have no private page when it comes to the Global Mentor Coach. That's my business page. So why would I have a private page for that? And then getting your DMs and ask you from that doesn't make any sense. But that's what they're doing. And in particular, these cryptocurrency people.
Yeah.
People trying to get you to buy crypto. They're trying to get you to do all of these different things. They're into this gift culture, all of these different things. And so I agree. That's why I got excited about this, because they are not doing anything to stop it. When you report it, the first thing they're going to tell you is this does not violate our community standards.
Mm-hmm.
How this person is taking my picture, my image, my likeness. They're using my posts. They're stealing my identity, and you're telling me it doesn't go against your community standards. They have nothing in place to protect you. So these people can absolutely use these things as what clickbait, because they're taking advantage of the people who are in your, who are your followers. And they're doing all of these things and doing what? To manipulate people, to get stuff from them, but at the risk of what? Your reputation. It's at the risk of the person whose face that they're hiding behind. You got to know that the internet is full of trolls and people who are unscrupulous, and they hide behind other people to do their dirty deeds.
Yes. Hello, Prophetess Monique. Here's another thing about clickbait for the Christian community.
Right.
Because we're putting out websites and we have social media also. You become well known. Your platform becomes popular, okay? Advertising, eye-catching images begin to pop up on your page, okay? Maybe you didn't do it, but someone wanted to advertise on your page, okay? And so on your page is this nice little image, but the image could look like it refers to something scriptural or biblical, but then when you click on it, it leads you to a website that got porno.
Right.
Okay.
Because you got to know stuff is getting hacked.
You got to know things. So this is another form of, we're talking about clickbait that can be that can be used erroneously. But at the same time, as a business owner, you've got to be sure you're not guilty of this. Presenting something because you want to make it sensational, and then when we go there, it's not what you said.
Correct.
I like what P.T. Barnum said way back in the 1800s. He said about customers and business. He says, make sure customers get what's expected. Okay. Even if you want to use clickbait to advertise, to promote, all right, make sure people are getting what they're expected. That's good business.
Yeah, it is.
Clickbait is not giving people what is expected, then that's false advertising. It's illegal. And in Christendom, we do not want our good to be evil spoken of.
You're lying. Can we let's call it what it is. You're lying. You're lying. And the Bible tells me the thief comes but to steal, kill, and destroy. But the thief, he also lied. He is the father of lies. So now, if you lying,
but here's the thing. Even if you're good, you made this sensational. Now people are going to go and see it, and you didn't produce what you said. So now you're being denounced as an imposter, as a swindler. You're being told that you are false, whatever, because you didn't deliver on what you lack credibility. You're not trustworthy. In the kingdom of God, we've got to be careful that if you put clickbait on your site, make sure it tells the truth.
Here's the thing: you don't want to lack credibility and honor.
Yes.
That's huge, because how does that
Yes.
reflect Christ? At the end of the day, if you say that you're a believer 24/7. So that means Christ got to be reflected in your business, not just up front as the face, because we have to understand, you got to remember in previous episode seasons, we told you that Christian was a market, not just because we're a market. It's because you got to know that you know that you know that Jesus is at the heart of your business, because he's at your heart, the root of your heart. And so it's reflected in every layer of your business. So it's not just on the painted on front, but it's everywhere. For instance, there was this thing today, and y'all, I got to show it to you, because this is D.L. Hughley put it out here, and it's perfect for right now, especially in particular, we're talking about Black History Month. Now, this might not be clickbait for some people, but this is the level of false advertisement and foolishness that is in these here internet streets that marketers are doing. And it's sad when it's blatant like this. It's kind of like, are you for real? Are you serious? Like, how is this possible? But it's possible. So I want to show y'all this, because this is actual, y'all, this is just
while she's getting that, is this clickbait is not an app. Prophetess Monique, clickbait is actually sensational headlines. It could be an image, it could be anything that they put for you to click on. See this right here?
Okay. So look at this.
Something to lure you in, something to get your attention when you're on there.
Y'all, this is a full-on ad. Okay, so now this is something that obviously this has been reported, right? Clothing site T-shirt Palace. They full on put this on. This full on happened, right? They literally have white kids modeling Black History Month hoodies and T-shirts. You mean to tell me you couldn't find Black kids? But this is huge, right? You may not consider this clickbait, but I'm using this as an example because you see so many of these quote clothing stores all over social media selling you products. But then some people are getting these products and the product don't match what they ordered.
Yes.
Now, another level of this obviously is what D.L. Hughley said, and go back and watch our last season on Black. We did a season on nothing but just blackness. Okay, it was just
money,
money. Okay, and but this it really is infuriating, but at the same time, this is really happening. This is full on. They will use stuff like this to hook you in to purchase it. Now, my question would be, who do they think they're advertising to? Because it can't be the Black people.
But here, wait a minute. But here's the thing about, remember, I told you clickbait is to lure you in.
Right.
It is sensation. It's something to lure you in. You don't know if it's legal or illegal. So guess what? It's going to lure someone in to look at this to say, what in the world is going on? And you click on it. That's a bait. So you click on this site, you've gone in to see what it is. And the next thing you know, a troll has been placed on your computer.
Right.
Okay.
So you got to be careful with
So you got to be careful.
Yeah, don't be shopping everywhere.
You got to be careful. So here again, this is what we're talking about. Clickbait is something to lure you in. All clickbait is a dark side and it's a good side. That's what we're saying. Right. Okay. So you've got to be careful what you're clicking on.
That's right.
So, what did I say? Curiosity. You go, because if I'd have saw this, I would have went, what in the world? Let me go see this site.
Exactly.
So I can see who doing this, what they doing, or whatever. And the next thing I know, I've clicked on, and then I'm going to click on something else in that site. Now I don't know what cookies.
I was going to say cookies so that they can start following your activity on the internet.
Right.
So sometimes that's all they want to see. Where are you going, so that they can start that's how you get these advertisements. When you click on stuff, cookies, they follow your behavior. So that's how you end up seeing advertisements for stuff. You're like, this is creepy. You be on Amazon searching for something, the next thing you know, you're on Facebook and you see something similar, like, oh, we
remember
cookies. Be careful about going to these sites.
That's why I quoted Proverbs 27:20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of a man are never satisfied. Wow. And guess what? The world knows that your eyes are never satisfied. So you've got to begin to recognize these things that the world is putting before you. To get your eyes. And the next thing you know, you become a victim of it. And you've been led astray. Okay.
I don't have my tracker on either.
I was like this. I was reading somewhere, it says taunting, lying, exploiting, and misrepresenting gets people to click. Okay. Now you don't know that all the time that someone's taunting or lying or exploiting and misrepresenting, but that's what can happen with clickbait, and you click it on.
Right.
If you are in the kingdom and you're using these tactics and it's not pointing to the gospel, you're wrong. That's another thing. It points people to your website, but if your website is not talking about the gospel of Jesus Christ and it's just promoting you, that's not the gospel. The gospel is not a political party. It's not a Hollywood watchdog. And the gospel is not clickbait.
And that's the truth.
Okay. It's not clickbait. And we've got to, and what we're saying is we've got to be careful, because a lot of times we see these things that the world is doing and we want to adopt it for our businesses, for our churches and whatever, not realizing the repercussions and what comes with that.
Right.
So you got to know what you're getting into. So if someone tells you, hey, let me put this on your website, let me do this here, and then they start telling you about clickbait, let me show you how to get somebody to your website. They may not call it advertising. You got to know what clickbait is. It simply means, here, I'm going to put an image on here so you can click on it.
Right. And it's important. And I'm glad Mom said that, because in particular for those of you who are in business, and it's marketing. You got to understand that it is marketing. So you need to understand the language of today and partnerships. Yes. You have to be careful who you partner with and you align with, because what are their values? If their values conflict with yours, I don't care how much traffic they can drive to you, to your business. Is that the kind of business that you want or need? You have to ask yourself these questions. You don't want your yes to be compromised. So you really got to think about these partnership opportunities. You got to think about when you're in these free marketing training sessions and all these sessions that people are selling you marketing, people who got these marketing formulas to drive more traffic or to get you more leads and all this other kind of stuff, at what price to you? You got to understand what's working behind that as well. So what's really working? Is this really working in your favor? So a lot of times I've sat in on these sessions, and it's not because I need it. I just want to see what's out there, because maybe there's something new. And a lot of times it grieves me, because I'm going like, that's dishonest, God. And if it takes me 10 years to get to where I need to be and do it the right way in honesty and integrity, then it's just going to have to take me that long, because I'm not cutting corners, and I'm not going to do wrong by people. I'm not going to manipulate people. I'm not going to lie, cheat, and steal. And I'm not going to be by hook or crook people, because I need to sleep at night. The Bible say, don't it say is the no rest for the wicked or something like that? I just can't, I don't understand it. And I sit here and I look at it. I don't expect the wicked, people who don't know Jesus to do better. But if you tell me you profess Christ,
yes,
and you following this, how you sleeping at night?
How you sleeping? That's what I'm saying.
How you sleeping?
And listen, I've been to some Christian websites that have turned me off because I'm going click here, and then I'm going like, wow. So here are some things that I do. I say, if you're advertising this, I'll write it on a piece of paper and go on another tab and go directly to the website rather than click it on. Right. Okay. It's just like, for instance, I'm just going to use for instance, if I'm on a web page and something pop up about an advertisement that Macy's got a sale on, I'm not going to click that on.
I'm going to Macy's website.
I'll go directly to Macy's website in another tab.
Right.
I'm not going to click it because I don't know if that's legitimate or not.
Exactly.
Because I know that people will use clickbait illegally for their own good. And so this is what we're telling you. And even Christian sites, if it's a site saying, here are some links to some other Christian sites or some leadership sites or somewhere to buy books or whatever, write it down. Don't just be careful what you're clicking on until you become familiar enough with that site and with the people that you're dealing with.
And I want to add to that because we dealt with this in the hospitality industry in particular, because you can have your website hijacked. And people have been gotten. I mean, I'm talking about trying to make hotel reservations, and you think you're making your reservation on the actual with that hotel, and you're not. There is a whole government agency that they have it on. I think it's the FBI and some others, the Consumer Protection or whatever.
Yes.
On their website, they tell you about these fraudulent websites, these travel websites. And you think you're making a reservation. You get to the hotel and you're mad because you don't have a reservation. You didn't make a reservation with us. We don't have anything. And they show you this. They show the printout. And people don't pay attention. And you see, when you print out your stuff, it shows you the web address, the URL. And when the hotel tells you that's not our website.
Yes.
That's a fraudulent website, and they tell you this, Now, guess what? You done booked, and guess what these people got? They got your name, your address, your phone number, your credit card information. They got all of this stuff because you clicked
and your money
for a reservation that you think you got, and you show up to the hotel and you don't have it. Now you want to hold a hotel accountable, and it's not their fault because you didn't use their website. You use a third-party site. And so now it's like you need to go directly to the website. I don't care. You trying to save $1 here, $2, or what have you. But now it doesn't cost you more because somebody cleaned out your bank account or whatever the case may be, because you're on a fraudulent site, because you've clicked something because you think you're finna save something rather than going directly to the website. It's the same thing. So you got to be careful. When I posted earlier about let the buyer beware, that's the truth. When it comes to clickbait, this is what we're talking about. Let the buyer beware. You have to walk in wisdom on Al Gore's internet.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen,
you got to understand what's happening out here. There is a spirit of manipulation that's roaming the halls of the internet. And I don't care if they say it's Christian. Dig deeper and do your homework and do due diligence. It's the same thing I tell my students all the time. Don't take it at face value. Dig deeper. Don't click that link. Go to Google, do a search yourself and look it up yourself, because you don't know what's following you. There is something that's called the dark web, people.
Yes, it is.
And there's a lot out there. So we're telling you stuff because, one, you need to look for yourself and know what's out there, know how to navigate, but also make sure that you know that. See, this is why you got to know the word for yourself, because it's what you see and lining up with the word. And I ain't talking about just what's directly in front of you. I'm talking about how people are using the internet. Gotta be careful, especially with social media, because again, it's all marketing. It's all about getting money. It's all about how many likes and followers. Mostly followers can I get, because the more followers, the more money I can make.
And let me go here, and I'm going to repeat this again, because you said it at the beginning, and for those who are just coming in, clickbait on the internet, it's content whose main purpose is to attract attention,
right,
and encourage visitors to click on a link to a
yes,
particular web page.
yes,
So, what we're saying to you is not only as a buyer, but as a promoter or as an
yes,
owner.
on both sides.
On both sides, as a believer, is your website integral? Or
Right.
do you have this content that's attracting attention and getting people, and then when they get there, they don't find what they're looking for?
What kind of bait? Let me put it to you like this. What kind of bait are you using?
Okay.
That's the question. As a believer, ask yourself, what kind of bait am I using? And when people bite the bait and they get to and I lure them in, does it match? Am I giving them what I say I'm going to give them?
Going back to P.T. Barnum, are you giving the people? He says good business sense. Listen, I looked this up. I had to order the book because it's been around for so long. The Art of Money Getting. He said you may advertise a spurious article and induce many people to call and buy it once, but they will denounce you as an imposter and swindler, and your business will gradually die out and leave you poor if they're not getting what they expected.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this goes back to 1880. That's good business sense. But that's business. Even as Christians, we talk about there's a business aspect to Christendom, but then are you integral?
Right.
So when you're out there putting this stuff on the internet, are you just luring people in for your own financial gain, for your own prosperity, or are you really luring them in and giving them what they say?
So as you were talking, here's what came to my spirit, and I want to put it to you like this: as believers, seed time and harvest.
Yes.
Seed time and harvest. What seed are you sowing?
Thank you.
So what he's talking about to me speaks to seed time and harvest, because you might be getting, increase now because you getting that get rich quick stuff. But that ain't long term. That's not long term success. Seed time and harvest is too many people are on this low hanging fruit thing, but you got to understand the low hanging fruit rot real fast.
Yes.
So we talking about seed time and harvest. What you putting in the ground, because eventually that's going to come to roost.
Yes.
And I can't help but think about the PPP loans during COVID. So many people, were victim of this scam and of a lot of COVID relief scams, because of clickbait. Because of clickbait.
Yes.
I ain't talking about the people who legitimately stole relief funds because they knew they ain't had no business. I'm talking about people who set up ads.
That's
intentionally to lure small businesses and people in to get their information, to get these funds, and I'll do the application for you. Give me my 5-10% cut and you get the rest. That stuff happened. Okay. And guess who going to jail? Ain't the people, the people who filled it out for you. It's you.
It's you.
Because you got to think about, again, what seed did you sow? Because you knew something in your spirit told you this ain't it now. This ain't right. But you went against peace. The Bible said let peace be your guide. Don't buck peace because you want that dollar.
Yes.
Because if you say your hope is in Christ, in Jesus, and you've been paying your tithes, ain't no way in the world God gonna let you in your business that he gave you, and you walking in integrity in your business, die. No way.
There should be
he gonna show you a vision.
There's a check.
So you can keep going. But you can't sow a seed of dishonesty and think it's not gonna reap a harvest.
Yes. But I also, as we're talking again, remember I said curiosity killed the cat. being curious, your eyes, you want to click stuff, you want to go here, you want to do that. It got Eve in trouble. Her eyes, the lust of the eye get you in trouble. What we're talking about is your eye. Because you click it on. It's what your eyes are seeing. They're appealing to the lust of the eye. Okay? So temptation is now coming. We're just trying to help you with ways of an escape for you to exit. And we're saying, okay, don't let your eyes get you in trouble clicking on everything. Know what you're clicking on.
Correct.
And if you're not sure, okay, and Shiny, what did I say? Write it down on a piece of paper, and instead of going to the click, go Google it and go to the right site yourself, or go directly to the site.
Yeah.
Okay. If you shop, okay, if I read the New York Times and I have a subscription to the New York Times,
I ain't clicking on no links.
I don't need to click on a link to the New York Times. I have it saved in my favorites, and I go to the New York Times. Y'all better hear some wisdom here. If I know that I shop at Macy's or Catherine or whatever, I got it in my favorites. I don't need to click on a link. All right. Yeah. Any one of these things that I do business. Now, if it's something new and I'm not familiar with, what did I say? There's nothing wrong with old-fashioned pencil and paper.
I use my
one of the things we tell you, be careful of clicking on links that you don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, clickbait that got so good, they come on text messages now.
Yes, they do. It's not just on your computer. They everywhere. It's everywhere. The whole goal is to lure you in, suck you in, get your information, do this, do that. It's all about selling you something, getting your information, or doing something to what? Manipulate you and or anybody in your contacts. Because the number is, listen, you got to know that sales is a numbers game.
Yes.
It's all about the more people we can reach. Somebody, 1 in 10, 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 is going to buy. Or respond, right? How many touch points, how many contacts with this same person over and over and over again to get them to what? Respond to what I'm offering. So if I can't get you, I want to touch as many people in your contacts as possible.
Yes.
So maybe it's not you. Maybe it's I'm trying to bypass you to get to who you know.
Thank you.
All of it it's
all about building a database of people that they can exploit.
Right. So be careful of, here's another thing for you all, clickbait, particularly for you who are in business. These people who are selling you, teaching you how to create a list. Oh, you need this for a list so you can have a newsletter so you can build your list. What you gonna do with the list though? What's the list for?
What's the list for?
I ain't trying to be funny, but you can actually go out there and buy lists.
Thank you.
From marketing organizations.
From
legitimately are building, have done this before. Can I tell you the best list you will ever find is the Yellow Pages?
That's right.
And they online. And it's free. For the most part, it's free. Do y'all know that Google ain't nothing but one big yellow page?
That's right.
But you're out here buying lists or trying to create a list, and it's like you got to be careful because there are all of these ads, and it goes back to this article. This man said that he's suing Facebook because they don't have any controls in place. You got so many people who are creating these ads to hook you in, to sell you a system that they've created that's not integral, but they just want your money.
Yes.
So you got to be careful with clickbait. Earlier, it started off like Mom said back in the day, yellow journalism against Pulitzer and Hearst in New York. Two major New York publishers, newspaper publishers. back in the day. And so it was all about sensationalism versus facts.
Yes.
They don't really care. That's what clickbait is. Let me get you hook, line, and sinker so that I can now, like Monique said, solicit you for whatever it is that I want you to buy. There's a sales pitch at the end somewhere.
Thank you.
I promise you there's a sales pitch somewhere in there, somewhere. I don't care what it's a sales pitch. And don't tell me, oh no, and God reached out to me, wanted me talking about a building black wealth seminar, right? I was like, I already got somebody I'm working with as far as life insurance. Oh, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just be a part of the conversation. There's a sales pitch in there. Oh, there's always a sales pitch in there somewhere. I done been there, done that. I done sat in on enough of these to know. And so you have to understand the whole point of, at the end, somewhere, there's a sales pitch. And we want you to be careful. Again, let the buyer beware. Let the clicker beware. Let the internet user beware. You, as a believer, have to be careful of what's on the internet. And again, if you get these strange text messages on your phone, that's clickbait. You don't know the number?
And as your business grows here, as your business grows and your visibility and your platform grows, you're going to get a lot of people who want to advertise on your site.
Yes, I get it all the time.
Okay, so what we're telling you is, who's this person wanting to be, to advertise on my website? And why do they want to advertise on my website? Because now you got to know, who's this person that's trying to lure you in to their business to put something on your website? And they want to put all this shiny stuff on your website, and they can tell you how they can lure all these people to your website and lure all these people even to your social media site. Okay. What's in it for them?
For them.
But not only what's in it for them, what's in it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. You now, it's just like somebody come knock on your door at the house. You don't know who they are. You got to give me some ID. They got to tell you something about themselves. And most of the time, a salesperson at the door, you slam the door in your face because you don't know them. You're not buying. You've got to listen. What we're telling you is you got to look into what you're doing and who's contacting you. And guess what? It's just like the Bible tell you, study and show yourself approved. You need to study who's coming to you. You need to be aware of who's trying to attract you. Because guess what? Stop thinking all the time that you're in charge, because to some people, you're the fish that they're trying to attract.
Correct.
They're trying to lure you in. Okay.
Here's the other thing, and sometimes you're the fish that they're gonna use as bait for a bigger fish.
For a bigger fish. That's right.
You really need to know the point of this conversation. Really is you gotta be aware and know the manipulation tactics of media, not just social media, but media overall. There was a football player who called out a journalist who used a clickbait headline on an article written about him, saying that he was at odds with the coach and and how they need to get it together, blah blah, or all of this other kind of stuff, and he called her out about it. Now, this particular athlete had a shoulder injury the entire season. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So, yeah, it's going to affect how that person plays. You got a shoulder injury, and the man got shoulder surgery coming up. This is public knowledge.
Yes.
But the journalists use a clickbait headline just to get more people to come and read her article.
Well, just recently here.
It was very, very deceptive. And so I'm glad that more people are calling out this kind of behavior, but there's still so much more of it. I'm a Twitter person,
it's out there.
And if you on Twitter, baby, everything on Twitter is clickbait. Can I just tell you, every other tweet, I ain't even talking about the ads. It's
we
just
just talking about the tweet.
I'm just talking about the tweets on Twitter,
You have
baby.
to be-
Okay. Are clickbait. Some of them are memes just to get you to laugh. Others, they really make you think. And some of them do have links for you to go check out other stuff, read articles, because there are a lot of people. There are some people who I don't mind clicking on their stuff. If Dan Rather, I follow him. If he posts it, it's pretty credible, so I can look at it. Soledad O'Brien, I can pretty much, okay, no problem. Some people you can look at and But today I was very surprised. I saw a thread about the activist DeRay McKesson and how he has now hijacked somebody else's work, their website, and passing it on as his own work. And the person who originally created all of that work, and it's basically a website that tracks police violence. This dude did a complete thread on how everything has been hijacked, and it's very surprising. He was like, I don't know what's out there, it may not be credible, so here is the news site until we can get it back. It's amazing, but at least there's information out there. So
yes,
you got to know that sites that at one point were credible can be hijacked by people who you may deem to still be credible, but are not, because people change. And so that's another thing. It's important for you to be careful because people change and not always for the better.
And don't assume, we're in season 1, we said everyone who says Christian is not a Christian.
Come on.
And at the very beginning, you said Christian has become a market.
It's a market. It's a multi-million-dollar market.
Most religions are marketing. Can be marketed now.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so people know that. The world knows that.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this in Christendom, in the kingdom of the living God.
Yeah.
We have to remain vigilant. The Bible says we must remain sober, but we've got to be careful what our eyes want to take in. Mm-hmm. Be careful of your lust. That I'm just gonna put it like this. And lust is not just sexual. Be careful of your lust. Your lust will get you in trouble. Mm-hmm. Your curiosity will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Your busybodiness can get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you want to click on everything. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're here to tell you that it's a whole lot going on. And we started out media with clickbait because this is prevalent.
Yeah.
Not only in journalism, in social media, on any site, because what did I say? It's something to lure you in.
Yeah.
You were talking about football. Everybody knew at the end of the season, people were talking about Tom Brady retirement. Remember how there was an article, bam, Brady announces his retirement, blah, blah, this, sources said. He said, wait a minute, I haven't said anything yet.
Right.
But everybody was clicking on it. It got headline. And do you know how many people was clicking on, reading the article about this? And then they said, wait a minute, he hasn't talked to his coach. He hasn't now announced it yet.
It's real.
But it's real. And we just experienced this.
Yes.
We just experienced this in the last week or two.
Right. It's really important that, like Mom said, we started this season off with clickbait because it's a ripple effect. A lot of it has to do with, how the media makes money. Mm-hmm. Okay. And how people, capitalize off of it. So next week we'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to be talking about likes and follows.
And we're not going to stay out of your conversation.
No, we're going to be all up in your business. It's okay.
We're hoping that we get into your conversation, and we're hoping that you will start having some conversations, and so that you don't get trapped. Because guess what? I agree. Messenger, what I tell y'all, I do not have Messenger on my phone.
Right.
Because Messenger.
First of all, they want too much access.
They want
They
access.
want too much. They want too much.
And too many people have used Messenger with clickbait. It's used a lot in Messenger because the controls are just not there. The security is just not there. Okay, so I'm just throwing it out there.
That's it.
I see Prophetess Monique mention it, but we just want you to know: be careful out there. Be careful on what you said. Algo's internet. I calls it Algo's internet. It's more than his, but be careful on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Be careful of the World Wide Web. Just as you're careful going through your physical neighborhood, be careful in cyberspace.
Amen.
There's bullies, there are thieves, there are people who lack no integrity.
Right.
That's out there who's trying to lure you in. And guess what? Some of them will wait until God has put you up real big and made you real popular. And God has given you a big platform. And then they'll wait to the end to use something that they found and twist it and put something out there to bring you down. Because you clicked on something 5 years ago. And now they got access to it.
Oh, we got to go. Because Mama we got to go. Next week for clicks. Next week, likes and follows.
Oh, that's right. That's the followers.
Next week, likes and follows. See y'all in another show. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.